Hello, and here we are on Advent, day 4 of our Advent devotional series. We are working our way through this, which is the Creation to Crib, which is written by David Sims. And this is a whistle-stop tour from the beginning of creation all the way through to the birth of Jesus in the crib. And we'll be doing a daily reflection to match along with what David suggests. So here we are on day 4. The Bible passage we're going to be sharing today is taken from Genesis chapter 9, verses 11 to 13. With these words, I make my covenant with you. I promise that never again will all living beings be destroyed by a flood. Never again will a flood destroy the earth. As a sign of this everlasting covenant, which I am making with you and with all living things, I am putting a bow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of my covenant with the world. In 2020, many people displayed rainbows in their windows as a thank you to our wonderful NHS during the work and during the height of the pandemic. But thousands of years ago, God used a rainbow as a symbol of something even more wonderful, to remind us that there would never again be a great flood to renew the world, and to remind us that he is a God who keeps his promises. So the rainbow is the sign of God's promise to us. Instead of our world being once again consumed by water and many living things dying, God, the Son himself, died for us. Jesus, consumed by death and buried in a tomb, was raised to life and broke the power of death. And so whenever we see a rainbow, we can thank God for his love and faithfulness. We can thank him for his amazing grace and loving patience. And that even when we mess up, he still loves us, still forgives us when we turn to him. And every time we see that rainbow, it will be a beautiful, colourful reminder that God is here with us, and his covenant and his promises will last forever. Now, as with every other day, David suggests that we do some things. He thinks some things to think about. He gives us some things to do and things to pray about. So why do you think Noah's Ark is such a popular children's story? Most people would have learned the story of Noah's Ark as a child. But what is it about the narrative that makes it such a compelling tale? Something that we want to talk about over and over again. Can you think of any other events in the Bible that draw you in like this one? Make yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, find a quiet time and a quiet space to sit and think about all the events in the Bible that draw you in. All the stories that you would have learned as a youngster, all the stories that you are maybe learning now, and think about them as we go through. What makes them special? What makes us keep returning to them time and time again? Then, if you have time, maybe you would like to make your own rainbow. Now, you can make a rainbow any way you want. Feel free to get your paints out, get a bit of glitter going on. Glitter and glue is always a wonderful thing to do. Maybe you could paint it on your glass windows, especially if it's poster paint, because that washes off quite nicely. Maybe you could put something on your clothing. Maybe you could decorate a t-shirt and put a lovely rainbow on that. So every time you wear it, you will be reminded that God's promised us that he will always be with us. However you do it, build your rainbow, make your rainbow, paper mache your rainbow. Just put it somewhere that you can see it. Someplace where it will remind you that God's love and forgiveness is with us always. So right from the very beginning and the days of Noah, things have not changed. God still sends us rainbows to remind us that his promise is everlasting. And think about when we see rainbows. Often we see them if it's been raining and then the sun comes out, isn't it? So it's almost like God reminding us time and time again that no longer will the earth be flooded. No longer will we die by being consumed and overflowed by water. So when you've done that, you can do another little rainbow on your board. Here's my little rainbow that I made. I'm going to add it to our tree, building up our baubles on our tree. And there we go. David suggests that we do this prayer and we say this prayer together. God, we know we live in a world where some people do bad things, but thank you for your patience. Thank you that you came to earth as a human, just like us, that you died and then rose to life, so that all the messes we make can be forgiven and we can be free. Amen. Thank you for joining us for Advent Day 4, and we'll see you tomorrow for Day 5.